hard to escape the plethora of documentaries about the late Princess Diana, or Diana, Princess of Wales. I mean, wherever you turn there seems to be one, and of course coming up yet again to her anniversary, it must be very difficult for all those that have known her, liked her, loved her, and of course her two sons and senior members of the British monarchy whose lives she impacted on, definitely for the better. But what's the real background to the now, well, furore surrounding the one-time BBC journalist Martin Bashir and the BBC itself? What's really coming up very strongly is exactly who was covering up for who. Let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Truly nice to see you today. This story a little bit sad really. I don't know about you, when I watched the documentaries of the late princess, you realise, what a troubled person she was. But was that self-inflicted, or indeed was it inflicted upon her? I would say that it was inflicted upon her, because when you watch those documentaries, and we have to thank Earl Spencer, Charles Spencer, the brother of Princess Diana, for pushing hard with these particular documentaries and what they've revealed. I mean, you consider that there's a woman already of fragility who's been pushed around and told a plethora of lies by this man that seemingly she should have been able to trust, particularly one then known as a BBC respected journalist. We're talking Martin Bashir. The full real account of what he did, and as ever we have to say allegedly, is laid bare on these numerous documentaries. I think the most shocking things are the fact that, of course, Prince William was given a watch by his father, Prince Charles, and that was secretly recording conversations they had and then reported back. The terrible slur against Prince Edward about his hospital visits, the Queen's health. You kind of wonder, how much did he want to plunder in order to get that particular interview, and truly how much did the BBC know? Well, fast forward 25 years of course, and Mr Bashir thankfully has now left the BBC after picking up a very fat salary for many years. But the bigger question is, if they suspected anything during this time, why then did they rehire him back in a higher position, a mega salary in 2016? That's the bigger question that's emerging over here in the United Kingdom. Was he hired back by the higher level people in the BBC to keep quiet, to make sure that he didn't say anything about others who possibly were involved also? The way, and whichever way you want to look at this, it's a terrible situation of someone that was so well loved worldwide, clearly who was at the very worst period in her life, but someone decided to push it even further. You can understand the anger of the princes, Harry and William, against their mother. But hopefully if they did see some of the content of this documentary, they'll realise that, as they've often thought before, it simply wasn't the media to blame, but one individual who pushed hard against virtually everybody who was surrounding the late princess. Now, according to a very good source, this now could be reopened and re-looked at. Where this could go really remains to be seen, because Mr Bashir apparently is now suffering from extreme ill health and is no longer in the public eye, rightly so. But nonetheless, lesser people are being brought forward to make accountable for their actions. He did have one friend on this particular documentary who decided to make some kind of amends for his behaviour, basically claiming, according to Mr Bashir, there's only one Lord that he answers to, and that's the one above. But seemingly it might now not be the only one if people get their way, and once they've fully seen exactly the levels of what he went to in order to secure that documentary interview all those years ago with the late and wonderful Princess Diana. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.